time I close my eyes.
Yes, guys, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. This is the call-in show where it's your chance to have your say, guys. So what we're going to do, me and Cav are going to chat about for a little bit, get more people in here. Once more people have come in, we'll open up the phone lines for people to come in and have their say on tonight's subjects, everything Liverpool Football Club. The article written by, I think it was David Lynch in This Is Anfield website. About FSG and spending their money on debts instead of the transfer that Liverpool desperately need. Jurgen Klopp in charge of looking for a new director of football. Is that the right thing for him to be doing? Bobby Firmino looking like he's going to sign a new 2.5-year deal. And many other subjects. But Cav, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to the show and looking forward to the guys calling in. Yeah, I feel like I've not been on for a little while actually. So
you ain't actually. I think it's been a week or so. Yeah.
I've had all sorts going on. I've been busy and I've kind of just been jumping around everywhere. So yeah, stuff going on personally and this and that. But yeah, I look forward to it. I'm pleased to be back.
Excellent. Big up Uncle Rod's in the house. Yeah, Aaron's convinced that you sing that song.
Well, Aaron, maybe one day I will do a rendition on stream and you will very much find out that is not me.
I need to pay Cav royalties. Is that what you're saying? I need to pay Cav royalties. Oh, guys, we've got quite a bit to talk about today, but I hope everyone's all right. The first thing I just want to say, this isn't not Liverpool related, yeah? I'm just going to have one say on this because I don't really want to see it in the chat and I don't want to talk about it too much. So the Mason Greenwood situation, yeah. So we've all seen what's happened today, right? And no, it's not a Man United channel, right? They let them chat about it, right? But I don't want to talk about it, guys. I know people in the chat are talking about it. You guys in chat can chat about it all you want, but me and Cav don't really want to talk about it. Look, as far as I'm concerned, I heard the videotapes. I saw the photos. I saw the pictures. He might be guilty, but he might not be guilty in a court of law. But geez, I saw what the man said and what he done. So I don't want that kind of scum anywhere around the channel. So me and Cav won't be talking about it, guys. So please don't ask us about it in the chat because I'm sure Cav agrees it's not something we should be chatting about right now. And my whole thing on it is to the woman that it happened to, and all the women out there who can't get justice to these kind of things, and you wonder why women don't come forward enough. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say on the subject. Cav's probably the same.
Yeah, exactly the same. But what I would say, guys, if like anybody's in the chat, like regulars here, or just happen to be tuning in this time around, or whatever it is, like if you're upset and like affected by it, do like reach out to us though, do DM us and stuff. Definitely. We'll like talk to you privately and hopefully like support you in some way if we can. But it's a very like touchy subject. So I think if we start talking about it on stream, things can be a bit misconstrued and we might end up upsetting people, which obviously we don't want to do. So yeah, I think it's best we just kind of stick away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's start with probably some good news. I'm not sure if it's good news or not. It all depends how people feel about it. But Cav, it looks like Bobby Firmino is going to sign a new contract till 2025. It's very close, apparently. Could be done any time now. Could be done while we're live. Your thoughts?
I mean, I love Bobby, and I can't help but be happy that he's staying. Like, he's brought so much joy to me and this football club since he's been here for years, and he's been here throughout the entire Jurgen Klopp era. And I know that his abilities have waned a little bit, and I know he's getting on, and I know there is going to have to be a day that he does leave the club. But I think with all the other attacking options we have now, it should be a case that, you know, when everybody's fit and firing, that Bobby shouldn't really be getting in this team and he should just really be like a backup. Now, we've got problems if he is starting because obviously other guys are out injured or they're not doing, not playing to the ability and what we expect. But for him, I'm pleased, man. I'm pleased because you need that joy in your squad. You need that like guy that's always smiling and does the mad celebrations and does the unexpected little tricks and flicks and stuff. I think for me, that's what football is kind of all about. There's no point having footballers that all look the same and play the same way. I like people that stand out and are different and play with a smile on their face and stuff. And Bobby's brought that for years. So I think when I really deep it, and some people put an argument to me that it's a bad idea that he gets a contract, I could probably accept some points. But overall, I can't deny that I'm quite pleased if he stays.
Yeah, I think Bobby's one of them players that we're all a bit sentimental to, ain't it?
It's purely sentiment. I will admit that.
Yeah.
It is purely sentiment, yeah.
Oh, it is with me as well. Look, out of all the Liverpool players, he's the one that pulls my heartstring the most. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, if Mo left tomorrow, I mean, all right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bobby left tomorrow, I'll be like, I might need a night. I might need a couple days in bed.
I mean, who's gonna start, baptizing people if Bobby goes?
Yeah, exactly. You know, Allison can't do it on his own, man. No, look. In all seriousness, look, Bobby, I can understand people's issues with it. I mean, what is he, 31 now? That takes until he's 33. It's another, what is he going to be in the pecking order? And that's the thing as well. Is he going to be sixth choice in the pecking order? You know, when everyone is fit, you've got Diaz, Salah, Darwin, Jota, Gakpo, and then is it then Bobby? I mean, it's where does the club see him? I mean, the sixth choice, is there a better sixth choice attacker?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But here's another thing for everyone as well. Do we think we're going to have six attackers this time when the season starts by the time the summer comes and transfer windows open and the season starts again next season, are we going to have the same six attackers?
Well, I think the only name that is questionable is probably Salah.
Yeah,
Rumours today. Yeah, because of simply the fact that he's out of the forwards, he probably holds the most value, and he'll probably maybe look at it and think he wants a final contract elsewhere and maybe in a different league and try win different trophies. And then his performances, we might look at it as a club and go, we're not quite got out of him what we expected after giving him the big contract. We might just want to go down a different route and free up that right wing spot to a more out and out winger or something like that. So maybe somebody to facilitate Nunes and make him the primary goal scorer or something like that. So I think Salah's probably the questionable one because look, let's face it, Diaz is new and Nunes is new, Gakpo's new, Bobby's looks like he's going to sign, and Jota, I'll be surprised if he, very, very surprised if he moved on after he's not been here too long, and also he's had injury issues this season, so it'd be quite unexpected if he moved on. But Salah, if it's at some point in the summer, a team come in like a PSG and made a bid for him and he moved on, I actually wouldn't be too surprised. It wouldn't catch me off guard, to be honest. And you could maybe look at the deal he signed in the summer as maybe a planned sort of thing whereby they was trying to retain his value and they knew that actually he maybe would be going. So yeah, fair question. It might not be the 6 going into next season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get this. Just let me get this up on the screen first. So, guys, if you just joined in, me and Cav are just going to talk a little bit about some subjects, then we'll go open up the phone lines. So, everyone stay put. Phone lines will be opening up in about 20 minutes or so. And then we'll get you on the air, guys. Let's just get. So, I want to go. This is the forwards we got here. So, Bobby Firmino, he's got 13 appearances. This is Premier League only. Got 13 appearances this season, 7 goals and 3 assists. Mo Salah has got 19 Premier League appearances, 7 goals and 4 assists. Bobby's goals to game ratio is better than Mo Salah's in the Premier League this season. That's mad. That's mad. So are we worried about the drop in Mo a little bit? Or is this because he's playing in not a different position because he's still playing right wing, but he's asked to do a different role in the team now?
I just think that I think Mo has had the team kind of tailored towards getting the best out of him for so long, and with all the changes in the injuries, that's not really the case now. They might be trying to do that, but it's not quite working because the players that are in that forward line and in the midfield, to be fair, they're not quite on board with the system yet, or not quite performing to the levels that it's required to then get the best out of Mo. And obviously, as we've sort of spoke about before, he's not really being that guy that's sort of dropping in a bit deep, trying to get involved in the play and stuff. He's kind of waiting for things to happen. And them opportunities are coming fewer and fewer between. And as we've seen kind of since we come back from the World Cup, when he's getting these opportunities, he's actually sort of snatching at them and is a bit lazy in what he's doing. And he's not tucked away the opportunities you'd usually expect him to. So he's dropped off. I don't know how much we're asking him to do something different is true. I just simply think that he ends up in further wide because we're not building up the play quite like we used to. We're not actually getting them opportunities, to get the ball to him in the right areas because the build-up's so slow. It's not particularly quick. Them fast transitions aren't quite coming off. And like I say, players like Nunes and Gakpo at the minute, who's playing as our centre forward, they're not Bobby and Mane, who knew what moves to make and what runs to make to create space for Salah and where to find him and when to find him and stuff. So I think he's suffering from that. And I think the best we've probably seen Salah in this season has been with Firmino. And that's probably no coincidence, really, is it? Because Firmino is a facilitator and he knows how to link up with Salah. And Salah, Salah picks up the ball on the right position. If Bobby's playing, he always looks for him, always looks for that 1-2 and to try and give him the ball and get it back. And obviously, since Bobby's been out, that's not really happening. Gakpo's found him a couple of times, but it's all too deep and it's not in the 18-yard box where he can really do damage. So I think he's suffered. I think Salah's suffered through what's going on around him. And then at the same time, I also don't think I think if he looked at himself, he'll know he could do a lot better as well.
Yeah, exactly. And look, other stats here. There's some ones that are quite upsetting. So Diogo Jota has only played 4 Premier League games this season. 4 Premier games. I think it is a massive miss from Diogo Jota what he does give us in the forward line. He can press from the front. He's that player who can come short. He can go long. He's a goal threat in the box. He's a big miss. The other one, Luis Diaz, I think this would have been his season. I really do. 8 appearances in the Premier League this season, 3 goals, 2 assists. So he's got 5 GA in 8 Premier League games. Them 2 players alone are a big miss for this team. That they are because what they do. Luis Diaz's work rate off the left-hand side and his creativity on the left-hand side can't be. That's something that we haven't got in many areas of our pitch anywhere else, to be fair. The creativity, the pressing, all that. Jota, he can do that Bobby role. He can play off the left. He can press. And also he can put the ball in the back of the net. So them two alone, and this ain't excuses, by the way, because I still think the manager should do better without these two, but they are a massive miss, ain't they, Kev?
Oh, huge. Yeah. I mean, Diaz, since he's come in, he's been the spark in the team. And often I've thought that he's not quite fitted into the side in terms of getting in the areas and making the type of runs we've expected from, say, like Mane when he played left wing. But because he's so good, like his raw ability is so good and so creative that often he just plays off the cuff, and that creates things for us. And I felt like in the second half of last season, we needed him. I felt like we were just, if we needed a spark or something's happening in the attack, we just had to give it Diaz and see what he would do. And it's no surprise really that his kind of goals came and his sort of better performances came where we would go a goal down or we would be struggling to create, and Diaz would just pick the ball up and go, you know what, sod this. I know I've been trying to learn on the training ground all week where I should be and what run I should make and try and be the player that Liverpool want me to be, but actually we just need to get a goal here. So just give me the ball and I'll just do whatever I can do to get a goal. And that's why you see him cut in and go across the box and shoot. And that's not by design. That's just by him just grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. And how much we've needed that, you know. Plus his abilities of beating a man and being direct and just, you know, making things happen in that final third, we've really lacked since he's not been there. And then Jota's such a funny player to try and describe to people because he kind of does everything. You know, he's not an expert at anything in particular, but he's such a good attacker. Like I'd say he's not particularly quick, but he can get by a man. If you play a ball in behind to him, you kind of back him to get away from people, but he's not lightning fast. It's one of them players where like he takes somebody on and he's not skillful, but he manages to get through, and he always kind of, the ball can bobble around and he'll still run away with it. You know, inside the box, he's quite cold in the box when you think about it. Like his movement's good, but also if you give it him to his feet, he often takes the right touch and sets himself, you know, gives himself that opportunity to get a shot away. And his finishing's good. He's just got a real dog in him. He's a real fighter, Jota. And I don't mind people. I know people don't like him on the right and stuff. He's better down the middle or left, but I just like him on the pitch because I just think when you give him the ball, he just things happen. You know, he always just seems to crop up in the right areas or be in and around that 18-yard box and he's a good goal scorer. And look, Jota, if he's fit for an entire season, you'd probably say he's a 20-goal a season, man. You know, and take that out of any side, that's going to have an impact. So those two players, when you think about the attack, I would probably say probably the two above any you don't want to lose. Now, at the start of the season, you'd say the first name you won't want to lose is Salah, but actually, as you've seen, if you don't facilitate him, he can go missing. Whereas I feel like with Jota and Diaz, it don't matter who you put on that pitch with them, they still make something happen, especially Diaz. So, they're a massive loss. And we don't like to use injuries as an excuse for this season. But it is true that, you know, without these two guys, it's such a difficult ask.
And then we got Darwin. Who people take the mick out of, have a laugh about. He's got 14 Premier League appearances this season. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists. And consider we got Mo here on 7 and 4 and 19. Now, Darwin's return isn't the worst at the moment. And that's Darwin. And the thing with Darwin, you know, Mo plays just right. He plays right. Darwin's playing left. He's playing central, substitute appearances. So again, I look at Darwin's GA in the games he's played. I look at Bobby's GA in the games he's played. Diaz's GA in the game he's played. And I look at Salah's and I'm like, this ain't not right. Maybe this is the future. These 3 here, Jota, Diaz and Darwin, Cav. Maybe they're just the future. And, you know, we've got to start thinking about that for maybe next season.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Salah's statistics are a lot better when you consider the Champions League.
All round. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but possibly. I mean, there's nothing to say really that Diaz and Núñez will work together because, you know, if Darwin plays up top, he does like to drift out to the left and they might occupy the same spaces. I don't think they're amazing sort of technically, when it comes to pass and link up and stuff. I think they both just want to be so direct. I'm not sure if that necessarily works. I mean, against the only real game we've got as a sample size is that Arsenal game. And then it did look good in fairness, but Diaz was sort of drifting all over the place and Nunes was managing to just drop in the other areas that were left occupied. But I'm not fully convinced just yet, and purely just because we've not seen enough games where they've played together. I'm just going off the profiles and the runs they make and the spaces they occupy and the type of players they are. I'm just waiting to see if that will work. I mean, if it does, it will be scary for opposition because there's so much pace, there's so much fight in them two players, and there's goals there as well. But it's interesting because obviously you throw Gakpo in the mix and you throw Firmino in the mix. You could come up with any kind of forward line. You really could, you know, and any type of build-up play and stuff. I mean, traditionally we've seen a false nine and then inverted wingers, but with these options, you could literally do anything. You could do anything, and Salah might fall victim to that being the case. You know what I mean? That false nine and inverted wingers thing suits him absolutely down to a T. But if now we're saying, okay, we're not doing the false nine thing, we're doing out and out striker, and we're doing, you know, a left winger that can do what he wants and roam, what does that mean for Salah? If he can be more of a facilitator and supply Nunes, cool, that might work for him. But in terms of goal scoring and things like that, yeah, it's not a guarantee that it's going to get the best out of him. So it will be really interesting to see which way we go. But of course, we need these guys to be fit to ever find out.
This is a thing as well. So I've got a formation up there, 4-2-3-1. So this is about going forward for the rest of the season, Cav. So from going forward for the rest of the season, we're at the halfway point now. All the transfer windows are done. We know what we got. We know what we're playing with. There's the news now is, I don't know if you saw it, Virgil and all that were in training, weren't they? So, you know, which is great news with Bobby and all that. So they're going to be back soon in the next week or two. Jota's apparently back this month as well. So we've got all that going on. So I did this earlier and I'll show you what I did. So this is what I picked earlier as the team Liverpool should try and play for the rest of the season once everyone is back and fit. Where's Virgil? Where's Virgil? Where the bloody hell's Virgil gone?
There you go.
I love the fact they got an old New Balance kit as the thing as well. Canate. Why have they just put all the players up, not the players in their positions? That's madness. It makes it a lot harder. Trent, right. So, and obviously Allison in goal. So that'd be, I don't know about you, but that'd probably be the back four I would look at Liverpool playing when everyone's fit for the remainder of the season.
Yeah,
Virgil, Canate,
I don't think many people are gonna argue with that. I mean, there was you know in recent times there's been start of this season and sort of last season, Matip and Canate was a really good conversation because Matip's such a good reader of the game and never really lets us down. Would have the odd stinker, but once in a blue moon, really. His mazy runs forward help kind of open up space and drag the opposition out and things like that. But I think the performances we've seen from him of late have just been not good enough, really. So Canate's kind of leapfrogged him in the pecking order for me.
Yeah, Gomez and Matip. I thought we're going to have a conversation about them too. Right. What the fuck? Why is wrestling just come on my phone? It came from nowhere. In the midfield, double pivot. So we're playing this 4-2-3-1, which the reason I've done 4-2-3-1s I think it might show in a minute. Are we going Stefan and Thiago as the double pivot the rest of the season?
Hands down.
I don't think a certain Fabinho can get in this team right now. I really don't. And we're going to talk about Fabinho as well because there's some things I don't like the sounds of about him. You heard the rumours that they're hoping they can keep to Fabinho next season. Unless a big offer comes in. That was the wording. Unless a big offer comes in for Fabinho, which ain't going to happen. Yeah. I mean, What's the big offer? I'm not being horrible to Fabinho. I love the guy. He's great.
Yeah.
But he's been poor anyway this whole season. He was poor towards the end of last season. You saw something not quite right. He's carried on his poor form. An 18-year-old kid has actually taken his place in the team right now, and he don't look bothered by it. And that's my worry by it. And he comes on and gives the worst 10-minute display against Brighton I think I've ever seen. There was no fight. There was no passion. There was just... The foul was horrible, and it looked like it was on purpose as well. It didn't look like... It looked bad. And I'm worried about Fabinho. He's 29. He's Peruvian. He's not going to get any better, Cav, at 30, is he? That's my thing at it. That's my thing with Fabinho.
What I would say is, I think the level he's performing at the minute, his ability is better than that. He is better than what he's showing at the moment. But I don't think he's good enough, really, and to really play for us anymore. To be completely honest, and it's took me a while to come around to that way of thinking, but you're really seeing so much this season that isn't good, and it's not really convincing you that he can do it anymore. So I think, look, when the club come out and they're going to do this right, because it just makes sense. They're going to come out and they're going to try and protect him to some regard, because he's not played well this season by any means, and his value will be plummeting. And there will be teams around Europe that look at it and go, well, maybe if we bring him here, like an Atletico Madrid or somewhere like that, if we bring him here, a new change of scenery, a new club, different style of play, get bodies around him, different league, maybe a slower, less intense league, we actually can get loads out of this player. And Liverpool don't want to sell him for less than what they value him at. So they have to come out and rebuttal some stuff just to go, no, he's going to come good, or if people want to get him, you're going to have to spend money and all these kind of things. Because if they stay quiet, or they buy into the whole, they admit to his performances and his level, then they're going to lose him for less money than they probably want. So it's just a way of making sure that every other club that's possibly interested in him stay on their toes with regards to pricing, I think.
Yeah.
It's just it's like Klopp never criticizes his players. And one of the reasons he always talks them up is because, well, he wants to get the best out of them, obviously. But at the same time, if we do happen to sell them, then we're kind of talking them up in hope that we'll get a better fee for them. If you say they're dead and then walk into the negotiation room, they'll just be like, well, we'll take him off your hands then. You don't even think he's good. So
and with Fabinho as well, I think he's not named him by name personally, but I think you can see the way he screams at him at the touchline. Like, he definitely knows. Klopp's definitely not happy with him because he's not playing. It's as simple as that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me against Wolves that he doesn't play against Wolves either. I mean, or start anyway. I mean, could be a squad player going through the next season, maybe. I just don't think he's a guaranteed starter even next season now, and that's my issue. That's my issue with Fabinho, because I just don't know the level he's giving us this year. And to be fair, the level last year did drop a bit. He was I mean, I mentioned it last season loads of times about his performances, and the level has dropped at the end of last season. It's dropped all this season. If he was 26, say, I'd be like, I'll be fine. He's had a shit year, but he's got so much time. He's only going, his trajectory is still up a little bit. But he's 29, and the way he's fallen so badly, his legs look his legs look gone. I mean, he just looks gone. He's got no mobility. His trajectory is going more that way right now, and he's going to become 30 years old. So do we actually see him going back to the Fabinho he was 2 years ago? Probably not. And that's the issue Jurgen Klopp and his staff have this summer. That's why I keep saying it's such an important summer for them to work out what they got to get right.
But that's why I go back to it, though, and I use Atletico Madrid as the example. Like, let's say they signed him and they played this really pragmatic football, and they play a lot deeper, and they get Rodrigo de Paul around him, and they get Griezmann tracking back, and whoever else their midfielders is, and you took players in around him. And as we've seen with that Man City game, he was actually quite good, but that's because we just defended the edge of our 18-yard box. That's how some teams do play. So then he will be valuable to them. And that's where we just need to make sure, value is set by the buyer. Do you know what I mean? Not by the seller, really. I know people, I know we put a value on the player, but in truth, if the buying club really, really want him, they'll have to pay the right amount of money. So that's why we need, the way we talk about him, we need to make sure that we don't just let him go. Basically, we need to get a good fee for him, even though he doesn't work for us and he's not valuable to us. He might be for somebody else. But I think I agree with you. I think look, his legs gone. I wouldn't say gone, but they're nowhere near what they need to be for Liverpool now. And Patetic is just like the other end of the spectrum, whereby he's doing it now, and he's such a young kid, and you can just kind of see him getting better and better and better, and he deserves the chance to do that, because then he might just solve that problem for us. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. I think we'll still need to get somebody in, but Patetic continues, to put in the performances he has done in the few games for the remainder of the season. I'm like, if he starts next year, I'm cool with that. I don't mind. I think he's done a brilliant job so far.
Yeah, I agree. So that's the 4 I would play. So I'd have Thiago and Stefan. Now, if Jota's fit, the reason I'm playing Jota in a 10, not Gakpo, because Gakpo is a left winger. He's a left-sided attacker. But the reason I'm doing this is because I want to see where, like, Gakpo can swap with Jota. You know what I mean? They can swap positions. Darwin can swap with Gakpo, and Salah can go in 10 instead of Jota, and Jota can go out right. There's a lot of in that 4, they can all interplay and everything like that, which I think we miss sometimes. So I'm not sure what you feel on this, but I feel like that's a strong 11, right? That is a strong 11 when everyone's fit. And then you've got rotation on the bench. You've got like Harvey Elliott's, Carvalho's, because this is a perfect formation to get a Carvalho in, a Harvey Elliott in. You've got a Bobby Firmino on the bench who can come on as well. And, then you've got midfield rotation between Milner, Henderson, Fabinho, Oxlade-Chamberlain. You've got defensive rotation between Tsimikas and Ramsey, Matip, Phillips and Gomez. And obviously you've got Kelleher's rotation for Alisson. So that will be, if everyone's like fit for now to the end of the season, what we've got available. We know Luis Diaz is not going to probably play till next season. Jota's meant to be back this month. Virgil and Bobby are in training. So what's your thoughts? Your thoughts there, Kev?
Oh, so this is when the guys come back then.
Yeah.
Virgil comes back, Canata comes back, and Jota comes back. That's exactly the team I would go with then. At the start of this, I thought he was talking about when everybody's fit. Say like,
when everyone's back next season, you'd have Diaz.
I would put Diaz in, but then there might just be this crazy scenario where Diaz is brilliant as an individual, but in terms of like linking up with his teammates, Gakpo is slightly better. You can just see Gakpo. I mean, when he played off the left for PSV, he's a really good crosser of the ball and picking people out inside the box and things like that. Slide rule passes into the striker, and he might just strike up a partnership with Nunes, and then it would be really difficult to for Luis Diaz to dislodge him. So that might happen. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, Diaz, if Salah carries on the way he's going, they might just have to put Diaz in Salah's spot. These are things that aren't beyond the realms of possibility. So I bet for the guys that are coming back in the next month or so, I would say that's probably our strongest lineup. It's a bit harsh on Elliott. I think Elliott's done quite well this season, and I think some of the criticism has been unfair on him. But
I'm very close. I said it earlier. For me, Harvey Elliott is our outfield player of the year. Our player of the year is Alisson so far. But I don't think it's a stretch at saying that our best outfield player this year has been probably Harvey Elliott. Because I think he's been involved in every single game this season. I think he's the only Liverpool player that's been involved in every single game this season. So, and look, and when he plays further forward, he's a far, far better footballer. And we just got to get more out of him. But I think Harvey Elliott's been decent this season. Not well beat or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination, but no. Right, guys. The phone line, the link for the people to call in is in the chat right now. It's pinned in the chat, guys, so you can call in. What you gotta get 2 or 3 minutes, guys, to come in and have your say. You gotta get 2 or 3 minutes to come in and have your say. If you want to have a rant, have a rant. If you want to ask questions of me and Cav about anything, ask questions. But you got 2 and 3 minutes to have your say. Once then time's up, we're gonna let you go to let more people come in. Before we start as well, we've got 135 people in the house, so I need to get likes up. We've only got 69 likes. It's a great number, don't get me wrong. But we have got to get them. I'm a child. We have got to get them likes up, guys. 100 likes, guys. Come on, 100 likes. We've got 133 people in here. Go and hit the fun button. Let's get them likes up, guys. So, guys, what we're going to do right now, we've got a young lady coming in on the show right now. Jenny. She's from the Klopp-ish channel, yeah? I want to tell you something about her before I let her in, guys. Right? She has got cerebral palsy, okay? She finds it hard to speak, so her speak might not be very clear. I want everyone to be just quiet in the chat. Me and Cav will be quiet. We're going to let her chat, okay, so we can listen to her properly. All right? And, guys, anyone, look, put it this way. If I hear anyone take the fucking piss, you're gone. Put it that way, okay? And you're never coming back. All right? Let's give Jenny her full respect. It's her first time. She's been messaging me on Twitter. She really likes the channel. She wants to come on her own. So she has her own channel as well, which we'll promote after it. And, yeah, we're going to bring Jenny in right now. Okay, guys? There she is. Big up, Jenny.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jenny.
How are you? Good.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You well?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. I got 2 questions for you.
Go for it.
What owner do you want? American owners or Qatar owners?
American owners or Qatari owners. Okay. Do you know what, Jenny? I'm not bothered who is the owner of our football club as long as they put money into our football club. As long as they give Jurgen Klopp money to spend money, it wouldn't bother me. I don't mind. Cav?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that's all I want to see now is whoever comes in, retain the infrastructure that's in place, maybe improve on the scouting and things like that, because that's not been good of late, but just free up the funds to allow us to go and get the players that we need. And I don't mind if they come from America or Qatar or Saudi. I don't generally doesn't bother me where they come from. I know some people have certain issues, but until the actual person or the institution's named, I'll go away and do my research into them and try not to tarnish them with the same brush. Actually do my research and look at if people are saying they don't like certain aspects about them, what that actually is and whether it's true. So yeah, I don't mind. But do you have a preference, Jenny?
I really want a Qatar owner.
Good. Go for it, Jenny. You want the money, don't you?
I got to spend a lot of money and possible, and then we can win the league and he come here.
Yeah, Jenny. Yeah, give Klopp all the money. You're right, Jenny. You're right.
Yeah.
Look, Jurgen Klopp's been our manager for a long time now, and he deserves like a big spend up. You know, he deserves a big spend up. And you're right, Jenny. Why not have Qatari owners? Jenny, what was your second question?
If you were making Klopp and you have enough money, who would you buy and why?
If I had the money, who would I buy and why?
Yeah.
I think I'd go for Jude Bellingham because we need Jude Bellingham in our midfield. Or it depends how much money. How much money have I got, Jen? How much money have I got to spend?
300 million quid.
300 million quid, she says. Okay. 300 million quid. So I'll get Jude. That'd be 120.
Yeah.
Who else should I get? Then I'd go and get Barella from Inter Milan. That'd probably be around 70, 80. And then I'll go and get Caicedo from Brighton. Yeah. And then with the leftovers, I'd go for Hernandez. That'd be yeah. Casado, Bellingham, and Barella. That'd be that'd be the three I'd buy with that money, Jen.
Okay. Yeah.
Cav, who would you get, mate?
Yeah, Jude. But then you say 300 million, Jenny, and my mind goes Mbappe. I'm like, Mbappe 2023, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How much does he go cost? He's up 400 mil probably.
That's about a week's wage for him, isn't it? Yeah. I think I think I'd go with Jude, definitely. I mean, he's the obvious choice, really, isn't he? Barella's good. I would try sneaking a deal for maybe and everyone's gonna hate this, but Bernardo Silva. I know I should hate him. I know I should hate him, but he's a fantastic player, and I just think he's like it's close to a perfect midfielder, to be honest with you. So if there was some way you could convince him to come, I'd absolutely love that. Final. Oh, that's difficult. Do you know what? With that kind of money, I would try and prize Camavinga out of Real Madrid if I could.
Oh.
He's available.
I would say to him, you've got a lot of men in front of you at the minute. Modric and Kroos. Kroos more so might be leaving, but he's still got to get ahead of Tchouaméni and Valverde and others. And I'd say you've got a starting spot every week at Liverpool, and we're going to be back to competing for European titles. And I'd try and get him. So I'd at least give it a go, Jenny.
Go.
There you go,
you.
Jen.
Yes.
Look at all the love you're getting from the chat as well, Jen. All the
Thank
love from
you.
the chat. They all love you.
Thank
Jenny, we could understand you perfectly. You don't have to be worried. We
Thank
understood
you.
you. We understood you perfectly, Jen. We understood you perfectly. You have beautiful questions, Jen. Jen, I'm going to let you go now. And when I
Yeah.
do another call-in show, you can call in again, yeah?
Okay.
Fantastic.
I want to
Jenny.
see you again,
Thank you very
Jenny.
much.
Make sure you call in.
Right, and guys, Jenny's got her own channel, which is called Kloppish, as it says there. Go and check Jenny's channel out. What I'll do, I'll put a link for it in the chat. Go and check Jenny out, guys, and show Jenny some love on her channel. It's called Kloppish. Kloppish. Go and check Jenny out. I'll put a link in the channel, Jenny. Don't worry.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for coming on, Jenny.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jenny. See you
See you
soon.
later, Jenny.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Top that,
Absolutely
guys.
fantastic. Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
that's tough to top, guys. That was Jenny. You know, she's a big Liverpool fan. She's got her own channel. Obviously, she suffered some cerebral palsy, but it doesn't stop her, guys. Look at them great questions. And she was worried. She was telling me on Twitter, she was worried that we wouldn't be able to understand her in her talk. And I understood every word. Don't know about you, Cav. I thought she was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an amazingly strong lady.
Right, we're going to go from the lovely Jenny to the not so lovely Albert. Now you doing, Albert? You doing well, mate?
Hi, Albert.
Hi, how you doing, man?
How you doing, man? How you doing, Albert? What's your question, my man?
Yeah,
Albert,
Yeah.
you on a train or
listen,
in a
guys.
lift or something?
guess what? So I on Tuesday I missed my hospital appointment because I was
Oh no.
I was sitting and waiting for Liverpool to get a midfielder. So that's what supporting Liverpool does to you. I just sat and missed my appointment. But hey,
Shut up, Albert.
so I'm just
I hope you're all right though. I hope
Right.
you're all right though. Oh, your internet's going a bit
Think he's
there,
gone.
Albert.
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're very
Can you
in
hear
and
me?
out. Your internet's all over the shop.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so I'm wishing the boys well on Saturday. They should come back to Liverpool with a win. And if I had 300 million, I'm buying Caicedo, Kudus, and Bellingham, and nobody will ever score a goal against us. But
So
yeah.
true. It's so true.
I'll see you guys in a few. I'm just popping in and out to see the doctor. I'll see you guys.
All right, mate. Come
Okay.
in
Cheers,
when
Albert.
you finish, man. Come in when you
I
finish.
hope you're well anyway.
I'm well.
Good.
Man,
Good. I'm
good man,
pleased to hear
good
it.
man.
Pleased to hear it.
All right, see you in a minute, Albert. Yeah, big up G as well in the house. How you doing? All right, G, you're on the panel, so you're good. You can stay. You ain't got a 2
Big up,
minute
G.
thing.
Do you know? Sorry, G. I'll let you go down. I love how Albert comes on and Jenny come on, and Albert's like, yeah, I'm at the hospital, I'm at the doctor's or whatever it is, and that because at times you come on the screen, and I watch podcasts as much as less than I appear on them, and at times you can come on screen and we talk football and you think everything's fine and everything's good, but there's so many supporters of this club where they're going through different periods of their life, tough times and things like that, and and no one ever says it, do they? No one online comes out and says, look, I'm going through a tough time, or I'm having this trouble or this trouble. Everyone thinks social media, it portrays, the best parts of your life. And I love that people come on and it's like, yeah, I'm at the doctor's, but I'll talk for Liverpool and I'm this and that. And Jenny comes on and she, of course she has her struggles, but she still gets involved. And I think I really like people to reflect real life as much as they can. And it's certainly something I really try and promote because it just helps people get through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can see that everybody's going through tough things. Then it just helps you a little bit.
Big up to the chat as well for everyone subscribing to Jenny's channel. Big up to you, amazing people. Yeah, Jenny was a true warrior. Can't wait to have her on again. Right, we've got Sabiri and then Pyrex King after. So Sabiri's on next. Big up Sabiri in the house.
Hey, big up Jamie. Hey, big up Kev. How you doing, man? Hope your day yesterday was well.
Zabiri's looking like
he's looking fresh.
An A-list star.
He's looking fresh, I know. He's looking fresh.
The thing is, I'm in this police compound, so I just threw on a policeman glasses. I got glasses for different occasions. So I got the construction worker glasses, the police glasses. You got to rotate to not look. Yeah, you got to rotate to not stick out. Gee, what's going on, man? I tuned into the show yesterday. See you doing well with the pretty heavy questions. Yeah, baptizing people, converting them, and that. Keep up the good work. I like what you're doing over there.
I'm trying.
I got a question for all three. I might have already heard Cav's take on it, maybe not. As it comes to players, the Liverpool model, getting players in, we've always been having our best players picked off before Klopp, and over the years, your Iniestas, your Xavis, Suarez. It's like the best of our players, they never really hit their prime besides Stevie G. Most of them, they're getting there, they hit the prime, they're gone. It's almost the same with Klopp, with his, managerial career before Liverpool. So it's like the club in itself always got the best players picked off or leave. Klopp had the same issue as a manager. He brings up an up-and-coming star, he hits the market, he's gone. The two comes together and create the atmosphere of getting good players in, quality players in, making superstars. And we finally got to the point where none of them leaves. That is great. But 5-6 years later, we need to look at the bigger picture now. And it's good players are staying in their prime, but we need to develop a system to move them on, rotate them out, cash in on them at their highest value. It's all well and done giving Bobby, 5-year contract, whatever, the extension and all that good stuff. That's great. But it's not actually great on the pitch because the levels are dropping. Like your Fabinho, Henderson, all the quality players that brought us so much joy over the past 4 years, the quality is dropping. I don't see a plan in just ripping up 11 players and bringing in 11 new and do the projecting all over again. And I think that's kind of why we find ourselves in this position. And, a lot of people tend to look at ownership, manager, coaches, backroom staff. It's really just a hole in our entire system that we've built up on the club. I don't think that was an area of focus. I think the focus was let's get there first, and which we did. But I don't think along that way we addressed that. So I don't know what you guys think about that. That's kind of all I want to, hear you guys take on it, because it's a big hole in our squad right now where we're not really planning for players' exit and replacement of these quality players and cashing in on them. We'll find ourselves now signing up players we actually don't want, but we don't want to let them go for free or for cheap. Yeah, Ox, Naby, Fab. Most of our players' values are actually going down besides the kids. I don't know a player in our squad whose value is going up besides probably Kanate. Outside of him, everybody getting injured and the value is really going down. Allison, I don't think his value is dropping anytime soon. So, I'll let you guys chop that up. I'm back at work, so I'll still be tuning in. You guys have a great day, man. Keep up the good work.
Before you go, Sabiri, everyone in the chat is saying you look like this guy.
Oh, you know what's crazy?
Everyone in the chat is saying you look like...
He actually does it though, when he smiled just there as well. As soon as he smiled.
Listen, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. So I came to America around 16. I had my hair cut like this. If you ever notice people, I did cut my hair.
Yeah, you're looking fresh, mate. You're looking fresh.
Yes, I was getting the Akon quite a bit. So then I just switched it up at 16. I went bald, try to avoid the Akon. Then I got hit with, what's his name? There's a singer with a scar on his face named Seal. I got hit with that guy. So I'm like, oh, I need to escape. So I went Mohawk. Then they hit me with the Balotelli. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So every hairstyle I get, I just end up looking like somebody else. And but yeah, it's calm, man. Heard it all before. So now I'm back on the Akon look.
What's up? Their warrants are gonna catch up with you one day. You can keep doing this identity change when they get you at some point.
Yeah, real talk.
Hey, if I pull up photos at 3 to 4 year increment, you'll think I'm a shapeshifter. The way I drastically change the look off, just appearance, weight, and hairstyle. I look completely different. So I can't show no one any picture unless I'm actually rocking that haircut. Because you won't believe it's me. So, but yeah, maybe, you got to switch it up. Got to keep it fresh. Keep them guessing. Reinvent yourself. Maybe Klopp can watch and take notes. Maybe FSG can learn a thing or two. You can't be the same every day, So I just try to improve on myself and be better. Change start with you at the end of the day. So.
Good man.
You guys don't change. Make sure you're keeping up the good work. And trust me, I'll be the first to say, get your ish together if I see you guys slacking off. So make sure you guys keeping up the good work.
Sweet, Sabiri. We'll let you go, my man. We'll chop up your question now, man.
All right, man. Be blessed, guys. Take care.
Catch you in a bit. See you later, pal.
Jay, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think the club hasn't ever had a succession plan. Everything you said is just true. I was trying to think where do you even go from there, but I think we're almost like the people who, even though we don't get money, but it's like you've never had money in your life. You finally get all this money, and you just kind of don't know really what to do with it. It's like we got to this point of being really good, and there's no real succession plans for anything. I mean, the players, the team, the manager. Nothing seems to have any level of succession after it. There is nothing really there. Even the young players coming through, I don't think there's any real succession plan. I don't think any young players actually ever come through and been able to flourish. Is there anything really here at the club to suggest that we can go to that next level? Everyone kept talking about 2.0, Kanate, Gomez, that's going to be, Liverpool 2.0, but Klopp doesn't know what a 2.0 is, so how are they going to know what a 2.0 is? Owners as well, speaking of them, I don't understand how they couldn't have foreseen that clubs are going to get better and spend more. I feel like that was always going to happen. Forget Newcastle, even if you just took that out, forget how much money Chelsea has spent. Chelsea were always going to spend money. So I don't really understand why you thought that how you were doing things was just going to be able to continue. I don't know, man. It's a very difficult question, though. I don't know. I think we've just got to get better at. We got to start understanding that you can't. There's only a select few amount of players in any team in the world that you can keep, i.e., Thiago Silva at Chelsea. He's looking to sign a new deal. That's probably one of the only few older players who might actually stay in their team. We need to be looking at players like Van Dijk. Maybe he stays. Alisson, maybe he stays. The rest, they should all go. All of them should be going. They've been here 5 years. Bobby getting a new deal. I think that's a very poor decision by the club. It doesn't make any sense financially, option wise. He's injury prone, but you're going to sign him up to new deals. So we're going to basically do what we've been doing for Ox and Naby. But we've been complaining at Ox and Naby. So now we're going to complain again about Firmino being injured again. But we're signing up to a new deal and people think that's a good idea. That makes zero sense to me. James Milner, he's still
the
here.
Naby one. The Naby one. The only reason I was thinking about giving Naby a new deal was so he didn't leave for free. That was my only thing.
But we shouldn't even have been in that position.
He should have been sold. He should have been sold.
Yeah, it should have been sold. Sold time ago. Firmino. We talk about Firmino being so pivotal to this team. He's unreliable. No player on earth should be considered pivotal to a team if they're unreliable. It doesn't even make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? But the fact is, he is someone who's quite pivotal to the way that obviously Klopp kind of wants to play and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just really poor management. And to be honest with you, I don't know whose fault it is, but whoever's it is, it's just the club we think or thought it was being run really well, but we're actually seeing right in front of our eyes, it's actually not being run as well as we thought, you know, because I don't see this happening at any other top club. I just feel like it's only happening to us. We should have a lot of players. For me, you know, Naby, Ox, Hendo obviously still got his deal. Salah still got his deal. You know, we should be looking at these players and saying, let's hit that sell value, man. They're getting old, declining. Boom. If we want to sell them, but you don't have to. If we want to, let's get them out of the books or sign a new deal. One of the two. Trent Alexander-Arnold. We're going to need to sign him to a new deal this summer because I'm sure next year he'd only have a year left after that. What do you do with him? Thiago, what do you do with him? Too many questions, not enough answers, man.
No, Kev, your response, man?
I mean, what I would say is, like, these players not too long ago were considered like some of the best in their positions in the world, really, you know. So it is difficult to then let that go because at the time we're like, oh my God, we've got this incredible team. We want to keep it. We just want to add to it, you know, get a bit more depth. And look, that would be perfect. And the drop off has just happened across so many players that, you know, which is relatively short period of time. You know, when you think about 6 months to a year in football, that is a short period of time, to be honest. The career can last 10 years. So to have such a decline as in being the best in your position in the world to now not even good enough to play for this club is quite rapid. But there are guys like Naby, you're right, and Ox and players like that we should have, you know, if not last summer, maybe the summer before, just accepted, you know, they're not going to be reliable for us and we should have moved them on. And that's what we needed to for this model to work. You know, we don't throw a lot of money in at transfers and we try and do smart business and scouting and things like that. And so if you need to recoup money somewhere, so you have to let a big name go, unfortunately, at some point, or you have to let the guys that you don't rely on go and get people that, okay, they're not better quality, but they are more reliable. Because we're not Chelsea, we can't just throw that money at it and get us out of hole. But I would say there's been some success stories. I think Konate coming in and taking sort of Matip's spot and sort of leapfrogging ahead of Gomez has been a good sort of succession plan because yes, he's injured at the minute and he needs to sort of make sure he gets that them injuries under wrap. But he's a guy that really can be a huge player for us in the future, you know, for quite, you know, 5-6 years, say. He's going to be exceptional. Bajcetic coming in for Fab. I mean, it's come at a very poor time, really, because we would much prefer Fab was, you know, the Fab of old, because that would help us so much. But Bajcetic coming in has shown that actually I can be the guy here. You know, early days, I know, but that's worked. And then there's, you know, there's some that haven't quite made sense, like Elliot. Is he really the succession plan in the 8? Some people have a lot of question marks over him in that position. Carvalho coming in, you're like, if he's a succession plan to somebody, who is it? You know, what position is it? We're not quite seeing that yet. Gakpo coming in. If he's a succession plan to Bobby, maybe, and we're going to continue playing him at 9, there's still some question marks as to whether that's his best position and that's the role he really should be doing. So I think we've made attempts, and I think there's been 1 or 2 successes in terms of fresh, you know, getting newer players in. Jota, even you could look at Jota. No one thought we could replace the front 3, and Jota comes in and dislodges someone. So there's been some success stories, but overall, I think we've sat on our hands for too long, and it's cost us. In an ideal world, and really what us fans I think should expect from our club is that when we had this best team and these incredible players, we shouldn't have really sold them. We should have just brought people in that would challenge them. And if they were better, they go in the starting 11. So your starting 11 becomes the bench option, basically. And that's how you build the depth. But we were just not willing to sort of, I say not willing, we didn't spend big bucks, and the money we have spent is still yet to be proven. You know, I love Nunes. I absolutely love him. And I think I've got so much faith in him. But for the 6 months, there is still a question mark I can't deny as to whether he is going to pan out, you know, at Liverpool. And then Gakpo coming in, £44 million. That's you know, you can get some decent players for that money, and there's still a little bit of a question mark over him. So I don't know. I hope that towards the end of the season, we get to the end of the season and we say, look, terrible season, but at least in the final 6 months, we kind of saw what that succession plan was. We see Nunes was in there, and he was linking up well with Gakpo, so maybe that's our forward line going forward. You know, we've seen Elliott play in the 8, but he worked a bit differently, and his link up with Trent was a bit different, and that's kind of works. Kanate establishes himself as the first choice sort of centre back alongside Virgil. You know, Ramsey comes in and gets minutes, and you're like, cool, he's locked off that rotation option at right back and things like that. So I'm hoping we're kind of saying them things at the end of the season, because then we can go into the following season thinking, okay, we kind of see what the plan is now, and we just need to get in a few players just to aid it. But at the minute, we're in the eye of the storm, and it's difficult to see where these succession plans are happening and the ones really any being successful.
Yeah, I agree. Look, it's a great debate, all that. We could go on for ages and ages, but I've got to get our next caller in, and I'm going to bring in Pirates King in. We know Pirates King is going to come in there and have his say. Big up.
Let's have it right, man. How you lot doing? And up the minerals, man. We're here to expose the brand envelopes and the wrong uns. You know what I mean? And the wrong uns are clearly being the FSG in mob, innit? And probably Klopp is becoming one of them, because he's letting the club down. You know, the results haven't been good enough, and this is sackable form, mate. And I'm not sure if Liverpool fans would agree for him to get sacked. I don't know if he deserves to be sacked, to be honest. You know, like we have to see in it, because for me he still has a bit of credit in the bank, but we'll evaluate at the end of the season. And I've asked you, Jamie, do you think he will be sacked if the results don't improve?
I don't think Klopp will be sacked under this ownership, because...
Come on, he has to. He might have to. I'm not saying he has to, but if the results don't improve and there's no top 4, will he get sacked?
No. I think Klopp's perfectly safe in his job. I think Cavan G will agree. I think he's the most. I actually think he's the most safe manager in his job in the Premier League. G,
come on. FSG love top 4, man. Rodgers failed to get top 4 and you sacked
him and Arteta. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Arteta are the most safe. I don't think with the top 4, if they wanted to get top 4, you know, and they were that bothered, a lot of people would have said they should have gave Klopp more money to get that top 4. So I honestly look, Klopp has done wrong this season. There's no two ways about it. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't think Klopp, you know, he's had his hands tied behind his back. There's nothing he can do. But the fact is, he has done bad this season. But
he hasn't pushed for signing midfielders like Amrabat, etc. You know, you could have easily got like Barella and Caicedo in the summer. Well, they were cheap into having their crisis. And not this Bellingham only, do you know what I mean? You need to have like a backup plan in it. They were even cheaper in the summer before the World Cup. And you should blame Klopp for that, though. And this season, Liverpool have been on literally their worst run in the Premier League now.
Yeah.
One of, or their worst. And I think Liverpool's worst Premier League season, you finished like 10th. In 92-93, and you're on course to do that this season. And for me, like G is kind of right in the sense as in Klopp might need to be sacked if they don't get the top 4. But even if he
Might,
gets top 4,
there's no might. I want him out now. There's no might, but yeah, I hate it.
I mean,
Jay-
if he gets top
Jay's
4,
tough, bro.
you'll probably give him another go, right?
No, I'm done with stuff. I don't. Part of I'm done. Like this project is finished. That like I don't want to see him do anything else anymore. He can't do more than what he's achieved.
I mean, he showed that he deserves time. Come on now.
If he was to get top 4, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like, I mean, you were supposed to be fighting for the league, and you scraped. I'm imagining getting this top 4. Like you pulled. I'm not gonna get gassed or excited. I'll just be like, you done the absolute bare minimum I expect of you, and even that is like, you probably had to scrape it through. Obviously, that's just dependent if we get top 4. Like that would be the bare minimum. Him being 9th, he should be sacked. Like anywhere else, you're gone, mate. You know what I mean? Like because Liverpool, you're still here
because you invested a lot of money in the geezer.
Say that again.
You've invested a lot in the geezer, haven't you?
Yeah. I don't like him.
So let's say if it's you, it looks stupid to sell Klopp, and it will be very selective, innit?
I think I agree with the guys. I think he's safe. I think I
definitely think he's safe. I definitely.
So he's allowed to relegate Liverpool then, if he's safe.
No, because I don't think
it.
No flipping away. No way.
I don't think it will come to that. But he yeah. I just think he's safe. I don't know what more to add, to be honest. Like we can have this conversation about, do we think he'll go in this and that, but we know he won't.
Yeah, no, to answer that is he ain't good.
The most likely thing is he'll walk. He'll walk before he gets asked to leave.
This is one of Liverpool's worst Premier League form. Come on.
Yeah, it is. But we've also got to think about next season and the year. So Klopp's here for another 3 years, right? And we've got to think about what we're going to achieve in them 3 years. So someone can come in now.
He's earned that credit, and it's all about next season and need to spend the money. But the problem is, will you attract the better players because you'll be out of UCL, mate? And or the pool of Liverpool will be enough?
I think the pool of Liverpool will work for some players, but if we're outside of the top 4 without Klopp, I think that gets affected massively. I think Klopp really is the pool. You hear players say all the time they'd love to play for him and play under him, and this and that. So I think what we've got to think about is if Klopp was to go now, who you could bring in to help us get into the top 4? Because anything less than top 4 is just pointless, isn't it? You might as well just finish where we are now. But if you think there's someone that can get us top 4, which I'm sure, I'm sure people throw the suggestions out there. I'm sure there probably is a manager that can come in, look at things a bit differently to Klopp, play a different way, different formation, maybe go 5 at the back or something like that, and get top 4. And then you got to think who can do that, and then build on that for the following season, and then build on that again, so that at some point in the next year or the year after, we're back competing for Champions League and Premier Leagues, based on FSG still being our owners. And I think that is a real tough order for any manager to do.
But again, your fan base is also a problem, though, isn't it? Because because they're brand envelopes. That's why I say they feed into their narratives. They're basically paid by the club. Certain other big platforms don't want to call them out because they're getting their revenue in, and G is clearly every day calling the facts right and exposing those wrongs and brand envelopes because they're one of the problems at Liverpool. And I'm not trying to generalize to the Liverpool fans, but you get my point when I mean brand envelopes.
I think my take on it is where we stand at this moment in time, early Feb and sitting 9th in the league, is I totally get G's point and about wanting Klopp out, and I totally get that. It's just not where I stand, because I think about what's our target this season, and our target this season is quite simply do what we can in the Champions League and try and pull out a miracle in that competition and somehow get top 4. And I think who could come in and help us do it? And I'm like, I don't really know. I don't really know what manager out there comes in with this squad and manages to do that. Whereas what I do know is Klopp managed to do it before.
Well,
and I know
to be
some
fair, you
people
can
say
get a new manager bounce. You know what I mean?
that's very true, yeah. And that is very true. But I'm just going off what I do know. And what I do know is Klopp's managed to do it
You
before.
lot 10 points of top 4 as well. So
yeah.
anything can
And
happen. Another.
And then I think about what manager could possibly build a title-winning team with the backing that FSG provide. And I don't think there's many managers out there that can, but I've seen Klopp do it before. So that's where I'm like,
his way is not working, is it? You know, you've been getting found out by every other team, and Liverpool have been easy to beat, and they've been saying it the whole season.
And that's what we've said before. We've said before when we've missed out on titles and stuff, we said we're too predictable. We can't beat a low block. And then during the COVID season with injuries, we say Klopp can't handle, you know, tactically getting his results when he hasn't got his main tools. You know, we've seen it when all the backs were out.
He should adapt then. And
because
play,
after that COVID season,
more defensive. You know what I mean?
Because after that COVID season, we were terrible, and Klopp was making mad decisions, and we were going, "What the hell is this guy doing?" He went on and he recovered, and he managed to get a team competing for 4 trophies. So he's proven that he can come back from this. Now, some people will look at the current state of the squad, and they'll look at the state of the age of the squad, and the fact that motivation, it might be tough because to ask these players to go again and pull out a miracle again.
We can't afford another rebuild though. Liverpool are here to win now, and the easiest
but
thing
we've got to be real.
On manager though.
We've got to be real. We ain't going to win instantly. I know we're Liverpool. I know we're the most successful
manager. Look, I'm not saying Klopp should be. I'm just saying that you can't get rid of 10 players. You bet you can get rid of the manager.
In my opinion, for Liverpool to win another title or Champions League, it is a rebuild. It is a rebuild. It's probably multiple transfer windows to get back there.
Why don't do the easy thing?
Because I've accepted if it's a rebuild, who do I want to lead that rebuild? And for me,
hasn't shown that he can rebuild though, mate. Come on now.
He has. I've just given you an example. He had a terrible season during the COVID year, and then he went on to challenge on for, we was challenging for a quad after that. So
he didn't get the
not a rebuild as such, but he just basically got us back to being successful after a terrible moment where we were questioning it. I do get your point though. We've not seen a rebuild in terms of personnel.
So basically being part of the problem. Right, but problem though, lapping this up. You're lapping this.
But I mean, what's the difference between rebuild and build?
Liverpool shouldn't be rebuilding, mate. Liverpool should be winning now. You're elite.
Yeah, but we just have to be real. We just have to be real where we are. We have to be real where everybody
else is. Look at Man United this season. They're brilliant. And I hate Man United.
I mean, they could go on to win the Carabao Cup final.
Cup, they could win it as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But they're not going to win. They're not going to win anything other than that, are they? So
come on, they look more like winning because they changed their manager and they're getting the results. And Liverpool right now need to get the results. You know what I mean?
It's a very good point. Yeah, they brought Ten Hag in and they got 1 or 2 signings, and they looked seemingly to.
Yes. So why isn't Klopp pushing for 1 or 2 signings then? So why isn't
I don't know. I don't have the answer.
You're also being part of the problem because you're feeding into the narrative, lapping it up, not calling it out enough. You're doing what the brown envelopes want. Come on now.
Right, King, you have made some great debate, some great questions, some great opinions, my man. We're going to let you go because I've got another person to come on. But
man.
Great points.
We see things I never see, man.
See you soon, my man.
Keep mudding the wrong ends and the brown envelopes, man.
Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Love that guy. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring Jenny wants to come back on because she wants to ask a question about the manager. So go bring Jenny back on, guys. Okay. All right, let's bring Jenny on. Jenny, you're on with G this time as well.
Hi, guys.
How are we going, Jenny? You right?
So what was your question, Jenny?
If you got with a cop, who would you have a manager away?
So if we got rid of Klopp, who would we have as our manager and why? I let G go first for that one because this is his field. G's field.
If we could have any manager, like, is this just if in a fantasy world, anyway?
Any manager in the world, G.
I'd probably say I would go for Luis Enrique. I think he's, in terms of his style of play, I think Liverpool already possess the players that he needs already at the club. In Thiago, Keita, Elliot, Carvalho. I think he already actually has the players. I think he wouldn't need to have the Firminos of the world. I actually don't think he would even want to have a Gakpo or Darwin Núñez because he doesn't really use those type of players. I think he would prefer to have players who are very good on the ball, which we kind of already have. And I think he'd be more willing to change up the style of play that we have here at the club. If not him, I do like Tuchel. Again, I think Tuchel has a formation that he likes, which is 3-5-2 or whatever. And Liverpool are literally primed to play that at the moment. Outside of those two, then you're looking at like, in an ideal world, then I would probably take De Zerbi from like Brighton because I think he actually plays probably the best football I've seen this season alongside Arteta. I think they actually play the best style of football, but those two are unrealistic. So I'll probably say Tuchel or Luis Enrique, but there's so many. There's actually more, but they're ones that they're not as high profile. But those are the two high profile ones off the top of my head that I'll take.
Kev? Same.
Oh, it's so difficult. Depends which way you want to go with it. I mean, in a fantasy world, you just go and get Pep, wouldn't you?
Okay, yeah, if I can get Pep, then I'll get Pep.
Pep Guardiola, that is, not Linders.
No.
Or anyone calls for me. I mean, I think Ancelotti as well. To be honest, in a fantasy world, yeah.
No.
I think so.
Jenny ain't happy with that one.
No.
Okay. All right, Jenny. We'll have to agree to disagree. But realistically, I like the Tuchel shout, and that's the name that sprung to my head. And the reason being, G already said, is because if he goes to that sort of 3 at the back, 5 at the back thing, I think Liverpool have the players that are kind of tailor-made for that formation. And I think it will get us sort of short-term success. I think we'd have to mix it up after a period of time, because I don't think you can win too much playing that pragmatic sort of 5 at the back counter-attacking style of football. I think you do need to at some point transition to the team that takes the takes the control of the game and takes it to the opposition. But
Conte under Chelsea 3-5-2, he won the league.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I don't have the evidence to back up.
But I agree with you.
Just
I do agree.
Yeah, I feel like now with the, and I'll probably get pelters for this, but I feel like now with the current quality in the league and the quality teams that we have with City and Arsenal, I'm just not sure if that wins you a title now. I'm just not too sure. People will say, "Oh, there was quality back then," but I just can't see it happening. I just really can't. So, Zabiri said Mourinho. I mean, Jesus, could you imagine? I think Mourinho. I don't know if he said this, but I feel like Mourinho always wanted to manage Liverpool.
Oh, Mourinho.
I think he'd be a good manager.
I think Pep Guardiola wants to manage Liverpool. You know, I think everyone wants to manage Liverpool because they're a massive football club. But
yeah,
do you know what I'd go for? Mine's so out there. Mine is so out there. Mine would be Xabi Alonso.
I like that.
Mine would be Xabi Alonso. Mine would be Xabi Alonso. I want the new breed of managers. You know, I'm looking at what Arteta's doing for Arsenal. I'm looking at what Eddie Howe's doing at Newcastle. Xabi Alonso coming in at Bayer Leverkusen's doing well. I can't remember the geezer's name at Brighton. These are the next young breed of. These are the next young breed of great coaches and great managers that are moving the game a step forward. Before, you know, we got Klopp in 7 years ago, and Klopp was a new breed then, you know, with his brand of football, you know, and stuff like that. And now we have moved. Football has moved so fast. You've got new guys in now, and maybe we've got to look at maybe we've got to look at the future and not the present, and just go someone like a Xavi Alonso maybe. But yeah, that's
I like that.
Because you put it
Jen in
like
the
that,
chat.
I'll do it. I like it.
Jen put in the chat Xavi, and then we'll have him play a manager.
I wouldn't mind that too.
That's very. I like that. I like that.
But Jenny, we're going to let you go again. Okay. Thank you for coming in again and for your question. It's a great question. And come again next week, yeah?
Okay.
Thanks, Jenny.
See you later on, Jenny.
Bye.
Bye.
See, no one said Poch there. No one said Poch.
Nah, I don't want that guy. He's like a failure kind of guy. I don't want him. He's like a failure. I feel like he doesn't know how to. That's why when Jamie said Xabi Alonso, I was like, you know what? It's not even that. That wasn't even wild. My issue with having people like this is that I would need to have a Tuchel first and allow Xabi to come later when he's just got that bit more of experience, because we're not at. Well, I'm hoping we're not. If we're saying that, look at Arsenal and all of that, we're basically saying we've tumbled down so far down that we're back there. We're back 7 years ago, effectively, where we've got to literally start from where we started 7 years ago.
I don't think we're far away from that right now.
You got a point there as well. To be fair, I
look at the team. Look at the team he took over. Right. Obviously, the players we've got right now are still better than the team he took over. But they've sort of gone to a position now where they can only go so far, that we now need almost another new team to come in to go again. We got a lot of players in our squad right now that are still young, but that expression, you can be an old 30-year-old in boxing because you've had so many fights. You've been in so many wars that you're now an old 30-year-old. Well, Fabinho's proving that you can be an old 29-year-old. You know what I mean? So you can. I think we are at this time now where the way Klopp plays, the way he trains them, because the training's intense, because he wants the training and the gameplay to match each other, so their fitness is at a high level. So if the training and the match play is that intense for 7 years, then there's going to be natural drop-offs, and maybe you need to go again with a whole new team. It is go, and football moves so fast in cycles as well. Football moves so quickly. Arsenal were eighth, 5th, and top, right? I saw Arsenal getting top 4, but I didn't see them flying at the top of the league on 50 points already. You know what I mean? Football moves so quickly. A year. Transfers now are madness. And people buying £40 million players are not great. That's the world we live in now. So, Liverpool are stuck. I think Liverpool are sort of stuck in their ways a little bit behind the times now. And that's not just to do with the people at the club. That's to do with the ownership as well. They can't afford to invest. So the longer they stay at the club, we can't continue investing. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle, Man City, they're going to stretch even further away from us even than they are now. And that is a worry. That is a worry. We've got more callers here. Big up all the callers today. Lennon coming in. Big up to you, my man.
How are you, Jamie? Good to see you. GTB, Calf. How are you?
Hi, Lennon.
Good
to see you, man. You are looking great.
We try.
I'm actually free the whole of this week, so I'm on our Liverpool channel, watching them, listening to different opinions, which is very good because we're a global brand. So
yeah, exactly
right. Yeah.
Oh, it's very good. One thing I want to say, like I think it was 2 weeks ago, I came on Grace Khan. Carl was there as well. When things weren't going very fine, I know every one of us, we are not happy as fans. We want to win. It's normal. Nobody like Bob Paisley used to say. I was watching you, Jamie, yesterday. You were talking about Bob Paisley. You were talking about Bill Shankly and everything. When you look at those things, nobody wants to be where we are. But one thing we just have to realize as fans is this. When the club was winning, that's what I mean. We have 12 years as owner of this club. That's our owner, FSB. when there is a problem that happens, I'm an engineer, a process engineer by profession. I like to look at the root cause of the problem. A lot of our fans today, they say club out. Is club part of the problem? Yes. Is club an enabler of our downfall where we are today? Yes, of course. Is it the only reason why we have this problem? No.
No.
That's not true.
Mm.
When we were successful, the following people that I want to mention, we dig them up. Our owner, correct. Our recruitment team, correct. Our scouting team, our Edward, that's the director of football. Then our nutritional, the woman they brought from Bayern Munich, club, and his team. Then the players and we the fans. Or sometimes when our players are not playing very well, because the fans are there and until we share them up from matches we win 1-0. Isn't it? That's where it is. Now that there is problem, it can't be only club. Anybody is going to be objective. Does it mean we are supporting club with what we have done? No. They are all employees. Every one of them, the players, the manager, the whatever, every one of them, even the people who are cooking in the kitchen, the cooking chefs and everybody. The only people who stay, who never changes, are we that we are fans. All other things will change. So I just want us to, because when we have opportunity like this, we need to rub minds together and see how things are. Club can change things. There are some of our Irish fans. I live in Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and I normally discuss with some of our fans here. There are some of our fans, when we recruited club, some never know club. Yeah, that's what I mean. No? They don't know the type of football that he plays. Now that we have problem, there are some of our fans, I tell them, I send links. I say, go and see the type of football he plays. Has he changed when he came here? No. There are some of our fans who will say, no, he doesn't know how to play more than 4-3-3. It is not true. He played 4-2-3-1. If you go and check Dortmund of 2010 to 2013, that's what they play.
Mm-hmm. We did a show the other week on this, Jamie, didn't we, actually?
We looked at... Yeah, he changed 2013. He changed 2013.
He did, yeah. We had a look at his best Dortmund team, and we were talking about how Blaszczykowski would midfield three, then he would go out on the right, and Royce would come in and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Right,
You see, the difference between us when he came to Liverpool and then when he was in Dortmund last year, the best player we had in Liverpool, they are wide players. But the best player he had when he was in Dortmund, they play centrally. When they are defend, they defend compact. They play 4-2-3-1. And then when they defend, they play 4-1-4-1. Sometimes it become 4-4-2. They are very hard to score against. You understand what I mean? No? So the problem he had in Dortmund as well, he didn't have that problem here, but he has a different problem here. Because when he was at Dortmund, he bring in your player. That is his way of life. You understand? You know how Dortmund is. They are a selling club. Just like the way we were before as well. Before club came. Yeah, that's what I mean. No? So when he started winning, this Catalonian man, who is now a Manchester City manager, bought his best players. And what happened? They almost go relegation. Now, if you look at his interview, he said this is the first time in his life that he will bring in players that he bought as some young players, and they are coming to their prime, and nobody sell. So it's another also new challenge for him as a manager. So we need to look at all this. So so that I don't take other people's time, there are some of our fans who said, well, club has to go now. I don't want, me as a person, I don't want a short-term fix. And then secondly, also, when these people came 12 years ago, you know, when I started, I want our owner to leave, it was 2013, 2014. If they are giving Brennan Ronjan 2 defenders, we wouldn't have considered 50 goals that year. We would have won the league. So we wouldn't have won the league 30 years after. They didn't do it. That was since then. I want these guys over. And apart from that, I work with American company. I know how American operate. My wife is a business woman. She used to explain to me, because I was a day I said, oh, Ox is injured always. He doesn't play last season. Navigator. I said, okay, it remains 6 months. If club don't have their space, our owner can just go to him and pay £120,000 per week for how many weeks? For 26 weeks, which is 6 months in it for them to go. That's 3 million. And for the other player, I didn't let me off. My wife laughed. She said, "You don't understand." He said, "You don't understand." I said, "No." I said, "So that there will be 2 space, then we can buy and bring in new player." He said, "No." She said, "No, business doesn't work like that." He said, "You have to start looking at it from the business perspective of the owner." He said, "Look at it. They bought us 3 million 3 years ago. 12 years ago. They never put their own money. The revenue the business generate, they put it back into the business. Even when they say they are expanding Anfield, what did they do? They loan us, maybe not with a high percentage, and then we pay the money back. It's just like going to bank. They didn't lose anything. But now we are worth 3.5 to 4 billion. My wife said, why should they put their money? They don't need to put their money. But we want to win. You understand? We don't care. But you see all these guys, when I made up my mind about FSG was when we win the Champions League. People, our fans, should go to Google and Google their interview. You know what Jobri Henry said? He said he's surprised. That's what I mean, huh? He said he's surprised. Why would you be surprised? It means that is not your goal. That is not your ambition. I made up my mind since then with these guys that they just have to go. They have to leave. You understand what I mean? Huh? It doesn't mean club can't remain for life. You understand what I mean? Huh? Okay, let's look at the 5 years before clubs came in, right? We only make top 4 once. So their goal and their target and their ambition is top 4. I said it to one of my friends yesterday. I said, club is the cause of his own problem. Then he said, "Oh, Lalon, why?" I said, you should have been making top 4 every year. Not winning champions, not winning the league. They will be happy. They will relax. And some of our fans will not go against him today. But this guy overachieved more than their target, more than their goal. Their goal is top 4. They will never go. And some people are saying, like the other caller who called me before I came now. He said, why can't they sack club and then they bring in another manager? He can use the player. Let me tell you one thing. If they are sacking club now, it will cost them 45 million pounds, right? But I said they should cancel the contract of Navigator and Ox for 6 million. They can't do that. Then they will come and sack manager and pay you 45 million.
That's a good point.
So 45 million pounds is the amount to relieve Klopp of his contract.
What is left on his contract?
He has 3 years. He has 3 years.
Yeah.
So they can't pay. So we have to see sometime. Now I don't get angry again.
So really, he's got to walk by himself.
Yeah, not
exactly. Yeah.
You know, like what he did in Dortmund. He said that, I don't think I can take this thing further, and they decided to walk away.
Yeah.
Except that they don't. You think they will pay this guy 45 million? Okay, we can't pay Matteo Nunes 35 million to bring him, and he went to Wolves. So you come and sack Clark, and the same people will bring from their pocket and pay 45 million. No. So what I would just advise our fans is let's cool down. Let's hope. For me, I'm praying we're going to get a better owner than these guys who will put their money. You know, sometimes they will be, when you listen to their interview, they say FFP. What is FFP? If you read the full document of FFP, every owner can put every year 50 million pounds without any problem. Go and read it. It's online. Their own money, their own person, not the revenue of the.
Actually, I think it's actually a little bit more than that as well. Actually,
no, 50. Yes, that's minimum. They can put it. Have they been putting it? They will not. You see, the luck they have is because fans will have get them out if Klopp was not our manager. Trust me. So it's a marriage made in heaven. You know, there's one guy too who said, "Let's get Ancelotti." You know what I told the guy? He is my Irish friend. I say, go and read the list of managers when they were shortlisting. Ancelotti was number 1. Klopp was number 2 in 2015. When they interviewed Ancelotti said he needs 250 million pounds up front. They said, no, you have to work with what you have. When they call Klopp will agree. I will work with what I have. So that's where we are. But the only problem I have with Klopp is let me say this, it's from he has this human problem, this relationship, this bonding. That is a major problem he has. You understand what I mean? No? And that's the only thing I dislike about him. Like, he doesn't want to offend people. He doesn't want to tell this player, oh, you are.
Mm.
I mean, I don't. It's 1 year left. You can go. You understand what I mean? Huh? But in that case, the ball also stop at the corner of the owner. If the owner is ambitious, he say, "Club, do you know what? Henderson cannot get 4 years. I don't care. I employ you. I'm paying your salary. You are my employee, just like Henderson. I'm giving him 2 years. He can't do anything. He can't do anything.
No, right.
Even Edward. You know, all of us, we are celebrating him. I'm among those who don't celebrate Edward. People say, oh, but why? I say, yes. He buy very shrewd. But when he want to sell, Ram Brewster, how much did he say? About 25 million, right? Do you know what happened? Other director of football, they are now using the same system. And that's why it's difficult for us.
Mm-hmm.
So just let's pray and hope. Me, I'm praying every day to have a very good now. Whether if they give them 3.5, let them just sell and carry their bag and go to America. They make a lot of money. They bought us 300 million. They didn't put their own money. They are making over 2.5 or 3 billion now.
Yeah, they're making most.
They have nothing to lose. They have nothing. They can't take us far. They have taken us up to like this. We want to go this way. We need another person to take us higher.
It's interesting that point, though, isn't it? Is everybody says they're at the end of the road and they can't take us any further. And I do agree with that.
1 minute,
Yeah.
Lano, I'm going to let you go, my man, because I've got someone else to come on.
Cheers, Lano.
Big up to you.
Good to see you
A
again,
lot of information in there.
Thank you, GTV. Thank you so much. I'll see you.
Great
Thank you.
chat.
Bye-bye.
See you later,
Enjoy
my
it.
man.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Jamie, I got a head in literally 2 minutes, bro.
Yeah, no worries, Jay. If you wanna run, you can, my man, anytime. I'll just bring Indian Scouser in the house as well.
Captain Sarso.
Indian Scouser in the house. How you doing?
How's it going, bro?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and
Yes,
clear,
sir.
loud and clear.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've listened to all the callers. Big up to all the callers tonight, and especially the last caller just now, Irish Red, spitting facts. But yeah, it's actually almost 3 a.m. here, but I couldn't sleep. I was listening to you guys for like an hour and a half now, so I thought I might as well come on because I just couldn't sleep. Listening to the conversations. But yeah, so just before I start, I just wanted to say it's actually nice talking to you the first time, G, because I've been watching all of your videos and I love how you chop things up. And Cav, I've been watching you on Grizz's channel every time. And Jamie, you already know what it is. You're the legend. But yeah, so I love listening to you guys, man. And there's so much to learn from you guys as well. And yeah, so for the past few days, I'm honestly so tired of listening to the 3 letters FSG. Like, I just don't want to talk about that right now. But before I speak about the Wolves game on Saturday, I actually wanted to share this story about a few nights ago when it was transfer deadline day. So obviously, like, our manager came out and said nothing was going to happen, like, after the defeat against Brighton. So we knew no one was going to walk through that door. But, for some reason, I was still like hoping deep down, like something would happen. Like, transfer deadline day, anything can happen. Like, we've seen so many crazy deals happening last minute. So 11 p.m. there in UK, I think that was the deadline, right? It's actually 6 a.m. here in Thailand. So I literally stayed up all night till 6 a.m. just hoping that, refreshing my feed, watching Fabrizio, watching you guys, like.
Yeah, you should have gone to sleep, bro.
He should have
gone to sleep.
Like, honestly, I wasn't expecting anything because, as they say, expectation leads to disappointments. But I wasn't expecting anything. But, it's just that hope that kills you. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I could go on a rant right now, but again, like, I got people at home. I can't be loud right now. But the Wolves game, the thing is, I've always wanted us to play with a back 3, honestly, because I think we have the full backs to do it. But obviously, we only have 3 fit center backs available at the moment. So we're never going to play all of them 3, right? With Nat Phillips, Joe, and Matip as well. So I know in the end, it's going to be obviously a back 4, and we think it's going to be the 3 midfielders because we don't want to see Fabinho or Henderson anywhere near the squad right now, and not James Miller in midfield as well, not Curtis Jones, not Ox plays in the front 3 anyways. So Naby, Basetic, and Thiago. So what I want to do is how we've played the 4-4-2 diamond before. If Klopp wants to play Nunes on the left so badly and Gakpo in the center, the only way I see it working, like I don't even agree with that, by the way. I would play like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 diamond or like 3 at the back. But the only ways I see Salah and Nunes up top as like the 2 strikers with Gakpo behind them, and obviously Bajcetic in the 6, Thiago on the left, and Naby on the right. So, a 4-4-2 diamond. So, but it's like I'm tired of like us speaking about what we should do to fix this issue. It's been 19 games now, but then when the lineup comes out on Saturday, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see something that's not right. It's always one thing or the other. Like it's like you fix the back, but then you're leaving that 2-3 holes in front. Like, why are we just leaking all these small things? Like, like if we all can see it as fans, like it's just frustrating, man. I just don't get it. Like, I love Klopp with all my heart, like genuinely, like when these players and Madrid came in the summer for preseason. If you guys remember, our first preseason game was against Man United here in Bangkok, and I went with a group of friends and we got battered 4-0 in preseason. I told them, wait till we beat you guys in the league, this and that. I had so much chest. But now I'm just in the mud, blocking everyone left, right, and center, muting all my groups. But yeah, man, just big up yourselves. There's no question, really. I'm gonna, try to go back to sleep. But yeah, much love to you guys. Great work as always. Hope we win on Saturday. And yeah, big up, Jamie. Thank you as always. And
always a pleasure, my man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, big up yourself, bro. Big up
Appreciate it, mate. You go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep. Yeah, go back to sleep. Don't let Liverpool stress you. Go back to sleep.
Go and take some Horlicks and go back to sleep.
Yeah. Catch you guys against
Horlicks, man. I hate that stuff.
See you later.
I hate it. Do you know there's some Horlicks in the cupboard the other day?
I think G's got a bounce. Hang on. Go on, G. I know you got a bounce, my friend. I'll see you a bit later. Thanks for coming on, G. I do appreciate it.
No, don't be silly, man. Cav, Jamie. Catch you
later, my man. See you later. Yeah. Go on, Cav. What was you gonna say?
I was gonna say I had Horlicks the other day. I thought, you know what? I forgot what it tastes like, and I went in the cupboard. I seen it was there, and oh my days, that is.
It's malt. It's a malt drink, ain't it?
It's disgusting.
Meant to help you go to sleep. It makes you.
I don't know who likes that stuff, but that's horrible. I don't like that.
Right, guys. I think we got time for 2 more call-ins, guys, before I have to finish up. So. Bruno, legendary Bruno is in the house. I know people have been asking for him. Here he is. Bruno in the house. How you doing, Bruno?
What's the date today? The 2nd of February, yeah?
Yeah, cool.
So how predictable is it that now they decide to release this news?
What news? What news? Tell me
what you heard the news? Apparently there's new ownership coming in, blah, 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 blah. So decide to release all of this now. What, just 2 days after the transfer window has slammed shut, how predictable?
I mean, you are right there. That is a bit. It is very.
Bruno, you know what I'm going to ask you, mate? I need to know your sources.
Well, I've been looking around. There's this account that people don't trust very much, and then there's this very other account on Twitter. Right, and they've been saying, how they're going to release something at 9 p.m. And I was like, until Fabrizio Romano reports it, I'm not believing anything. And by the way,
go on, Bruno.
What's his name? James Pearce. This guy, I've blocked him on Twitter.
What's he done to you? What are you sick of James Pearce?
This guy has a bad reputation when reporting Liverpool news. He has a terrible reputation. How many times have he got things wrong? He said that Nunes wasn't coming. Look what happened. Said Diaz weren't coming. Look what happened. He said that. He said we weren't getting a midfield or a defender. Look what happened. This guy keeps getting it wrong.
Maybe you should keep him and not block him then, because every time he's wrong, you know something's going to happen.
That's good.
Maybe you should have kept it in the background. We've got Albert in here. We've got Lee as well. Big up to you guys. Hope you're all good. I'll put all
Hey,
three of you on
guys.
at the same time because I've literally got 10 minutes left before I have to finish up. So I'll put you all on at the same time to have your say.
It's been absolutely shocking. This has got reminiscence of 2009-10, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
So, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Lee. We can hear you, Lee, my man.
Okay. I just got one. I'm at that stage now where I wasn't crop out, and slowly it's starting to turn my head the way with everything he's doing at this moment. And after sitting down and thinking about it and look at everything, I think the biggest issue in the club, he doesn't have somebody above him with bigger balls, to put it that way, that's going to tell him, you know what, you can't do this and you can't do that. Um, because if Klopp had somebody in that instance that held him down and told him what he could do and what he couldn't do, I think he'll be a much better manager for the team than actually trying to manage the whole club and everything else, with everyone leaving. Because if Klopp was given like the the guys that he have at the moment, they all they want to play for him. But with Pep Lenders in the background, I think so is a little bit of an issue because they're probably getting mixed messages what's coming from, because Klopp is giving too much power to Pep Lenders to take care of everything. So I think the higher management of Klopp needs to be, the faster they leave, the better it's going to be for Klopp.
No,
What do you
great,
guys
man.
think about that?
Look, yeah, Klopp has never had someone there to maybe a lot of people at our club, they stroke Klopp's ego a little bit too much maybe sometimes, and there's not enough people there to tell him he's wrong. You might be right, man. You might be right.
I think
Albert?
that Pep Lenders should
go on,
resign.
Hey, what's up? I barely made it out of the doctor's office, man.
Listen,
you all right?
and I'll
Yeah,
say
I'm
it
good.
again.
I'm good.
Pep Lenders should resign.
I'm fantastic. At my age, you need to make sure everything is all right. You don't wait for the shit to hit the fan before you catch it. You get out of the way of the shit before it hits the fan. Listen, I think that come to Saturday, a lot of things are gonna happen on Saturday. If we win, great. If we don't win, our problems are gonna begin, because a lot of people are gonna begin to change their mind about the myth that is Klopp. I have made up my mind that he should go, and the reason why I think he should go is that everybody keeps blaming FSG. So if we are all blaming FSG, he should know that FSG are no good too. So why does he keep enabling them and carrying the crap for them? It's because he's paid very well to do it. And that's a problem for me right there. If you're paid the kind of money Klopp is paid, and I believe he's the best paid manager in the league, then you should be able to stand up for something. And he's not doing that. We have no doubt that FSG should be doing certain things they are not doing. For example, they've taken out short-term debt to build the infrastructure that they are building. Who does that? Except that you place value in the infrastructure more than developing the squad. They see the squad as a depreciating asset, and they see the bricks and mortar as what is going to up the value of their asset. Clearly, they want to sell. At the right price, they will sell. They are not interested in developing the squad. Klopp knows that. So why does he keep telling us he's okay with the squad? Is Klopp honestly trying to tell us that he's not jealous of Graham Potter right now? Is he telling us he's not jealous of ETH right now? My problem with Klopp is the pretense. He knows what the deal is, but he's paid very well to shut up and basically be an echo bunny. That's my problem. But let's hope, and like Lannon says, let's keep praying. I don't pray when it comes to football, because God made the ball for everybody. He made the turf for everybody. He gave everybody a brain to get the right players. If we allowed Marseille to get Unahi for 10 million euros when we needed a midfielder, if we lose, let's not complain. But God is there for everybody who.
Did you see Unani's goal? Did you see his goal yesterday as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice goal.
If we know that there are players like Amrabat that Barcelona were going to get for £4 million pounds loan till the end of the season, we had absolutely no business not getting him. So if we lose tomorrow, hey, I'm also praying like Lannan that Thiago doesn't get an injury, because if Thiago gets injury, we are fucked, like fucked, because you know who his direct replacement is. It's Curtis Jones. So
What
you
in
guys
the
should
name
chew.
of garbage?
You guys should chew on that. I'm gonna let somebody else go, man. I have to go home now. But yeah, I'm good.
Thanks, Albert. I hope you're doing well,
take
mate.
care. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Big up to you, Albert. Look after yourself, my friend.
I've said this many times and I'll say it again. Klopp isn't God. Our fans act like this guy is God. He isn't God. He can be criticised and questioned.
Of course he can, yeah. Definitely. I agree with that, Bruno. I agree with that.
The sooner what's the guy's name? The sooner his so-called number 2 leaves his backside, the better. Because this guy is sitting there on his backside. Like, I've heard that he's been linked with Ajax. Well, hopefully you take the Ajax job, because so far, Pep Lee, all you've been doing is making books instead of doing tactics and making sure that we're organised on the pitch. Like, like we've had the whole transfer window to bring in players and we brought nobody in.
Well, he brought in Gakpo.
Apart from Gakpo, when you needed a midfielder, there's tons of midfielders out there. It's not just Jude Bellingham. Like, what in the name of garbage is this?
I agree with that.
We're flipping, like we're Barnet, like we're Barrow, like we're flipping Scunthorpe United. We're not Scunthorpe United. The sooner John W. Henry is out of this club, I'm going to have a party. I'm going to be singing Rihanna songs till all morning. The day that FSG leave.
It's very precise, Bruno. Just Rihanna or anyone else?
Rihanna's, Chris Brown's, Jay-Z's. I've got so many tracks. Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne. Where did that come from? Jay-Z, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Avril Lavigne. I like it, Bruno. Sounds a lot like my playlist as well, mate. All over the place.
I'll be singing a lot. Nickelback as well. I'm gonna be singing for
Nickelback. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's lots.
Bruno, you're tasting music.
I could go on and on. I've got Drake. I've got so many N-Dubs. I've got another. So many. Robbie Williams is another. I mean, I could go on and on. It would take flipping 3-4 hours to name the entire list. Anyway.
Oh, Bruno, you're a gem as always, my friend. You're a gem as always. We'll catch you later, my man. We'll catch you later. See you later, mate.
See you later. Thanks for having me.
Bruno. Cheers.
See ya. See ya.
No, great guy. Great guy, Bruno. Great guy. Yeah, big up the chat as well. You guys are doing excellent in the chat. Everyone enjoying these calling shows. Big up Michael. If I'm honest, Jamie's calling show might be up there with any calling show now. Yeah, the calling. Look, I let these people come on and have their say, man. No hiding around. People can come in and have their say. I love everyone in the chat, so I'm glad they come on and have their say, and I love it. So many personalities, ain't there, Cav? So many personalities out there.
Yeah. The personalities are good. The guys that come on today and the girls, sorry, they've been really good. And I like to hear the opinions. I like to hear the other side of the story. I like to see the way people view things, and I don't always agree, but I'm open to be it, you know, to hear what people have got to say and, you know, deep it and see if we need to debate it, and that's what we've done. So yeah, it's been good.
Definitely. So, guys, what we're going to be doing tomorrow, we're going to be ending the show right now, but tomorrow I am back at 12:30 doing a live reaction. We're going to do a live reaction to Jurgen Klopp's press conference. So we're going to be watching the press conference together and do a live reaction to the press conference, guys, and then talk about the build up towards Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday. So make sure you join me around the 12:30 kind of time, guys, and yeah, it should be a good one. Yeah, doing a live reaction to the press conference, go through to you guys, then talk about the Wolves game. So that's what we're doing tomorrow afternoon, guys. Tomorrow evening, I don't know if I'm going to be about because I'm going to get all this cut off, you see. So yeah,
getting that shape up.
The hat
taking Samira's advice and mixing up the style. I like it.
Tomorrow afternoon will be the last video with this hat on. I'm telling you, because the hair will be cut. The hair will be cut. Pat-Man says, translation, Jamie screams at the camera for 1.5 hours. All right, guys. Big up to everyone. Thank you all for joining me and Cav today. We do appreciate, guys. We love listening to you. And Jenny, big up to Jenny. First time in. And I know you guys subscribe to her channel as well. So, yeah, big up to you. Yeah, skin fade all the way. Skin fade,
Jay. I want to see it. Or a tape. I'll get a tape on. All right.
Tape up. Right, see you later, guys. Big up.
Cheers, guys.